Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Sherry Doby, and today, Martin Luther King's Day, 2024. I have New Jersey rapper and producer Vic Shadez, and he has this timely joint called Crazy, and it's the opening chapter to his forthcoming album, Time Traveler. And this joint delves into the depths of social insanity at which we're all experiencing right now. Um, so very timely joint. This is hip hop, definitely the culture. It's definitely a teaching joint and self-produced. I'm gonna tell you, when you hear it though, get ready for chills, get ready for that feeling in the upper part of your chest that says, I'm angry that this is going down. And thank you for teaching us about it and speaking on it in such a manner. Vic Shadez, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Great. So let's just kick it off, man. From the inside looking out, rapper, producer, creative, aware. They call it woke, but we call it aware on this
Yeah.
side of the aisle. Feel me?
Yeah. Yeah. They changed that word up a little bit. It shouldn't, it's different than what it used to mean.
Real talk. Real talk.
hmm
So from the inside looking out, talk to us about Vic Shadez.
Well, I've been involved in music my entire life. I had, I had a little rough upbringing, like a lot of people experience somewhat the same things that I probably experienced. So I'm not going to delve too deep into that part because I'm sure other people understand what I'm talking
Okay.
about. Um, for me, music is it's always been there for me. And like I speak to my mom sometimes, and she tells me she's like, since you've been a baby, you've been beating on my couches with drumsticks and you name it. And I'm an artist at heart, but I use music um as part of my artistry to speak what's on my mind. And I feel when you're an artist and you make music, I mean, even if it's not music, even if it's painting or visual art, like videos and stuff like that, um, you should reflect the time. You should reflect your feeling. You should evoke feeling. You should make people look at or hear what you're doing and say, "Hey, man, I feel something from that," you know. And I think that's key for me, at the very least. It's key for me to have that. That's very important. But music is everything to me. I mean, I think about it all the time. I mean, I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes. I got little ideas, and I got, I'm walking down the street. I hear, little sounds outside, and it sounds like music to me. I hear things other people don't hear, and I'm sure that other, musicians feel the same. But I feel like life is a rhythm, and
Mm.
that's how I see it. That's Vic Shades right there.
How many instruments do you play?
I'm a percussionist, so I
Okay.
play drums. I play any type of percussion you could think about it: timbales, bongos, congas. You put anything with some sticks or anything I can put my hand on, I can make it happen. I play a little piano, and that's pretty much the extent of that. But I
Okay.
mean, anything I pick up, I can find a note and figure something out.
Man, look, the drummers and the saxophonists were always the cool kids when I was coming up. My mom stuck me, she was a concert pianist. She stuck me on clarinet for some classical training. I'm like, look, this is not cool. I'm in the 70s
Yeah, yeah,
when people looked at you, yeah, okay,
yeah.
so you could play tuba, you could play trombone, but bruh,
Trumpet. I love
trumpet
trumpet.
even, yeah, bro,
Yeah.
all that right there. I'm like,
hmm
okay. And I was horrible at it. I was like 50th chair up against the wall in the back in the dark. They hid me because I
Wow.
couldn't I couldn't play. I couldn't read music, but I could
Right.
hear it. But
Yeah. Same.
I couldn't read the charts that well.
Yeah.
Um, only because of lack of practice. But amazing. So multi-instrumentalist in the percussion realm. Like I said, I've always been jealous. And because I've heard people tell me that piano is also a percussion instrument because
This.
the thing strikes the chords, the
hmm
strings, right?
Yep.
So that's a unique perspective for me. Um, what was, you know, it sounds like listening to your tale about your mom comment, that music has just been a part of you, just
Yep.
ingrained in you just from birth.
Yeah.
You picked up, the universal rhythms, and it
Yep.
just spoke to you, and you just acted on that. But was there a benchmark moment for you when you became like real active professional? You made your first dollar at it and say, "Oh, this is it."
I don't think I've ever had the money moment for me to make me say, this is this is what I want to do.
Mhm.
I just knew growing up in school and speaking to people, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be? I was like, I didn't know how to describe it when I was really young. I was like, I want to be famous because I didn't really know the difference at the time.
Right.
But as the years went on, and I did leave out the fact that my father's a musician. My father is a musician and a singer.
Okay.
Um, and him throwing me on stage as a kid with him and bringing me to the studio when I probably shouldn't have been at the studio at that age, seeing things I probably shouldn't have seen at that age.
Right.
Um, that was part of it, obviously. But either way, it was in me, and I knew I wanted to do something with the art. I just didn't know what it was.
Mm.
And then, I have an older sister, so I'm the middle child. I have a younger brother and an older sister.
Okay.
And my older sister was always playing music in the house. Same thing with my mom. She would wake us up Saturday morning in the morning, music, get up, clean. And my my mother's brother, my uncle, he was a DJ, and that was important. Like I heard things that I heard rhythms and things going on that it just stuck with me. And long story short, when I got into hip hop through hearing my sister playing music all the time in the early '80s. I'm giving you my age right now. Um, heard things, and I felt like that particular thing that I heard is what I wanted to do. I gravitated towards rapping and just the drum patterns and the bass. And from that point on, I just kept dipping and diving, dabbling a little bit in it, and then eventually writing and stuff like that. But then, I would say the pivotal moment for me is when I heard Naughty by Nature, when I heard Hip Hop Hooray and stuff like that, and I wanted to learn the words. Once I started learning the words and I started picking them up, I would go to school. I get a little trouble in school, and to keep me calm, my teacher would allow me to get in front of the class and rap. So I would rap and I would do like Naughty by Nature and stuff like that. The stuff that I knew. I didn't have my own stuff at the time. I just knew how to keep a beat and I knew how to flow. And then as years went by, I just started to find my own. And then making beats, I always wanted to make beats. And especially back in the early 90s, I didn't have anybody or the money to make the beats for me. And I had to figure it out on my own. And I did little things here and there. And eventually I was able to afford, equipment or be able to afford a computer to allow me to mess around and play around. Next thing you know, I'm making my own beats.
Ah,
Yep.
what program did you start on?
Ooh, I didn't start in a program. I started with hardware.
Oh,
Yeah, I started with an ASR 10.
okay.
And then from the ASR, I went to the MPC 1200. And then after that, I went to software.
Okay. So you come from the DAT era then.
Yeah, I still got that.
Okay, okay. I'm like, when you
Yeah.
say ASR10, I'm like, that's DAT's talk right there. You talking DAT
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. My
Okay.
first recording session, I recorded it on 2-inch reel. That's how I started.
So you were analog baby. Okay.
Analog. Yep.
Okay. Now the richness of the sound on analog versus digital seems to me, somebody who really doesn't make music. I don't make music. Not There's no qualifier there. I don't. Seems
It
warmer and richer.
is. It is. And I mean, they have these little plugins or whatever to try to create that sound, and it
Mhm.
really never happens.
Right.
At the end of the day, you just have to trust your ears.
Uh,
That takes time. It takes 10,000 hours or better, and then you sit down, you keep messing around with it until you get the sound you like. I know people that have been in the industry and have been making music since the early '90s, and they'll pay me a visit. They'll hear a beat and be like, "Man, I sound like you made that on." an ASR 10, or you made it on an MP, or and meanwhile, it's coming out of my computer.
Wow.
I know what I want to hear. That's why at this point I know how to create what I want to hear.
Okay. So with you growing up in music,
Mhm.
it being in your blood, and then of course, come from the analog age to the digital age, do you find that maybe you can't enjoy music as a consumer so much because you have your analyst hat on constantly, or can you just vibe out and not try to dissect?
It's a great question. So, yeah, I guess I have those moments. I have those. I probably have those moments more often than I do just being a listener, right?
Uh-huh.
But w- when I do hear something that catches my ear, right away, I'm just listening and I'm enjoying.
Mm,
But I mean, I'm sure we'll probably get into this deeper, a little bit later. But I feel the music, as far as, I mean, any pop music. It's just not just hip hop music, but
mhm,
pop music in general. It all has the samey feel to it. And I don't want to put on a song and then skip to the next song, and that song sounds like that song, and then so on and so forth. And I think that's the problem. And even when something's not as great as as most people would assume it is or want it to be, it just sounds better because it doesn't sound like everything else. So it
mm,
kind of stands out a little bit because you're like, oh, that's different. Let me give it an ear. Let me take some time to really listen to it and give it a chance. And I'm willing to do that only based on the fact that everything just sounds the same right now.
right. Yeah, that's an indeed over here. So
Hmm.
when you what part do you pick up first? Is it going to be the percussion portions, the drum line, and the how it merges with the bass line, and then the fills after that, or how do you work that out?
Oh no, I think it's just a feel. So I mean, there's I for I'm gonna speak in hip hop terms. So like in hip hop music, rap music, which is what it is rap music. Hip
Mhm,
hop is the culture,
mhm,
but rap music, um, there's music out there that won't have any drums. Like that's a thing right now, where it's drumless rap, and there's some of it's dope, but I mean, I do find myself waiting, like, oh man, when that drum gonna kick in? You know what I'm saying?
uh,
Like I want to hear it because one, I'm a percussionist, so I'm hearing the drums regardless. And then since there's an absence of it, I'm playing them in my head sometimes, and that kind of distracts me from the music. But if it's a vibe, man, and it feels good, and I dig what you're talking about, and you're taking me somewhere, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter.
mm.
I love bass too, so bass is important.
Yeah, the bass part, I'm a West Coast kid, so DJ
Yeah.
Quick with that heavy bottom,
Oh, I'm a big
the
Battle Cat fan,
Battle
brother.
Cat, my dude,
I love Battle Cat.
yeah, he's like a genius, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. He
Um,
is.
I yeah, that's what gets me first is how the drums and the bass player are getting along, because for me, that drives the rest of the composition. If
Yeah.
they're at odds or off, like especially when you're on a live show, when a
Yeah.
live band,
Mm-hmm.
my eyes are glued to the partnership between the bass players and the drummer.
It's
'Cause-
key. It has to be on point. It's like rice and beans. You know what I'm saying? You have to they no, it's the truth though, because
yeah.
that kick gotta fall with the bass. And I mean, I've played with a lot of bands. Like I've played drums for bands, and me and the bass player always got to lock in. Like me and him or her gotta
Hmm.
gotta sit down and we gotta vibe
Hmm.
because whatever I'm doing, he or she gotta be on it too.
Right.
Like when
Right.
when that kick hit when that kick hit, that bass got to be like boom, and
Yeah.
the tones got to match. It got to be on point.
Mm. Okay, we talked about the technicalities. I love talking to learning from people who
Yeah.
actually do this. You know what I
Right.
mean? I read amazing writers. I like to talk to amazing producers and creatives,
Yeah.
because what you did with Crazy, that was like that dark, ooh
Yeah.
wee, I mean, business conversation.
Yeah.
You dissected how the lines are blurred between reality and fantasy, with the Twitter fingers and all that good stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And the facade that's presented to us by the industry,
Yeah.
it's not really that necessarily that's what's going on. I caught the background of like a young lion out of the West Coast who's really making it happen right now. But as I'm looking and he's on video, he's not paying attention to his background. Like he's still got trash bags in his kitchen. He's in his kitchen doing his thing. He's in his mama's house. You know what I mean? And because it looks like an old person lives there, elderly person lives there.
He just there.
He's just there, but he's
Yeah.
killing the game. I mean, he's on with Snoop, he's on with 40,
Wow.
a young cat named Zoe Osama. And
Okay. I'm gonna
he's
check him out.
really busting out. But he's on that West Coast thing. But I'm just looking at him going, here's the video. You all what they call it, swagged out. Bling is definitely dead,
Hmm.
passe at this point, right?
Hmm.
You got all that, and then the reality is you still live in mom's crib in the kitchen that's dirty,
Gonna add up.
and you on video.
Mhm.
I don't know, you know.
Yeah.
So when I only bring that up because when people look at, oh, you're on E40's album,
Right.
you're killing it. Snoop is co-signing, they in your videos, woo woo. People
Right.
say, oh, you made it, but they're not
Mm.
paying attention to that 6 months to a year that before you actually get paid from all that,
Maybe more.
even maybe even more. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Um, and you see that visual, and it just totally walks away. So talk to me about. I don't want to say inspiration because that's like everybody says that, but there was something that touched you that
Mm.
sparked and ignited crazy into existence. Can you discuss that or?
Yeah, of course. Uh, yeah. That's all right. So the best way
Well,
to
this is an
describe
adult
that.
show. This is an adult show. Say what you got to say.
Okay, okay, good, good, good. All right. All right. So basically, long story short, the album that Crazy is on is called Time Traveler.
Right.
And the meaning behind that is each song is a moment in time, right?
Okay.
And each song has a different topic about how I was feeling in that time frame when I was working on this project.
Mhm.
Um, I was, COVID. Obviously, I mean, it's probably that word that's probably might get this blocked, but the C word and social media and the fact that I'm on the outside looking in and seeing what's going on. I'm just like, man, people are bugging right now.
Mm.
But at the same time, maybe I'm bugging too. Like maybe being locked up in the house for all this time and just, you know, like even before, like before the whole thing broke out, like I was in the gym 5 days a week. Like that was a thing for me, like I felt like that was important to be in the gym 5 days a week. And then COVID broke out and I worked out for about 2 months, 3 months. And then after that, I stopped working out and, just changing the way the way that my habits, the good habits, and just feeling some kind of way, and not understanding why you feel that way. And then seeing that the world is more concerned with the celebrity than people not being able to eat or being able to take care of their families or just being locked up in a house or whatever it may be. And then just like I feel like we were getting bombarded with like craziness is the best way to describe it.
Mm.
And I'm sitting in the lab because I was able to, get in and out. If they said I couldn't go out, I still went out because that's just the type of person I am. I go to the
Yeah,
lab
I feel that.
and I'm making music, I'm making beats, I'm listening to records. That's how I like to do it sometimes. So I'm listening to some records. I have a big record collection, and I found the gospel record,
Mm.
and which is crazy. So I'm listening to the gospel record, and then I was like, oh, I was feeling it. It made me feel some kind of way.
Mhm.
I took it, I chopped it up, started messing around with it. And in the beginning, if you notice in the beginning of the song Crazy, it says, keep on loving, keep
Mm.
on loving. So I repeated that in the beginning because I felt like even though you might feel crazy or you might feel like something isn't right or you're not, your place in the world is, you're not in the right spot or whatever it may be, just keep loving, man. Love what you do, love your people, love life, love whatever you need to love. Don't be crazy.
Mm.
So I sat down and I was just like, uh, let's make it happen. And I started writing how I felt at the time. That's pretty much my process. I mean, I don't write all the time. Most of the time, I just sit in front of the microphone and do it. Um, but that particular song, I wrote it.
How did you decide to merge that positive affirmation at the beginning with the dark kind of sound? The positive, so you put the yin and yang in there all at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. How
Yeah,
what kind of what was the discussion that you had with yourself when you're comparing the lyrical content, especially on the opening, with that
yeah.
dark, cringy
Mm.
journey that you were getting ready to take people on sonically?
I think that music, good music, most of the time is a call and response. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, like you say, yin and yang, that's call and response. I mean, however you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm telling you one thing, keep on loving, make sure you're good, make sure you hold on to whatever it is you need to hold on to. But now I'm going to tell you why I feel like you need to hold on to whatever it is you're holding on to. So I
Mm-hmm.
go from keep on loving to everybody want to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
telling you about yourself. This is what you want to be, but at the same time you're hating. And you can't be your best self if you're continuously worried about what other people are doing or hating on what other people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a call and response. It's like a back and forth. It's up and down, left and right.
Mm-hmm. I like the fact that you were able to kind of show or touch on somebody who has a really busy mind.
Oh,
Uh,
I do.
you know,
Yeah.
the input thing, the constant input that we're
Mhm.
getting from all these and confusing messages, conflicting messages,
Yep.
even within a community on a subject that they agree on, there are
Mhm.
parts that still separate,
Yep.
you know. So the underlying issues can be agreed upon, but solutions and perceptions of additional items, and it always drove me crazy, pardon the pun, that we can agree on something, but someone said, well, you forgot to mention this too.
Hmm.
Okay. Now that's one of the tentacles from the hub, right? That's one of the spokes from the hub. But if
Yeah.
we never get to deal with the underlying issue itself and stay on point, it lends itself to even more crazy commentary.
It
And
does.
we lose focus. Yeah.
We lose focus because the thing is people can't focus on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you really want to tackle something and you want to fix that particular thing that you're focused on, you
Mm-hmm.
literally have to focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that we're human and we live lives, and
Mm-hmm.
some people have to get up 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work and have to bring their kids to school and have to worry about paying their light bill and so on and so forth and their phone bill. So it's easy for them to be pulled to the side and start worrying about something else other than what they're really trying to focus on. And being on the phone
Mm-hmm.
and looking at, Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and any other social media that we can, lay down on this particular list, it's gonna throw you off, man. And I think at the end of the day, it happens to me too. I'm not gonna lie, but we're distracted. And
Mm-hmm.
we have a bunch of distractions, and it's like they're right there. They're in our hand 24 hours a day. We got them on our phones. I can't see my
Mm-hmm.
phone; it's like see through.
That's
But
easy. Yeah.
but the distraction is the problem, and then the fight to live up to whatever it is that they feel like they need to live up to on social media or just in life in general is another distraction. It's like who you trying to impress? Like
Mm-hmm.
me, I'm good. I'm married. I got 2 kids. Me and my wife been together a long time. I got a kid in college. I got another one about to be in 5th grade. Listen,
Wow.
I'm more worried about making sure that my boys are good and my wife is happy and I'm happy
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
we have a roof over our head and food to eat. Um,
Yeah.
other than whatever's going on social media. I'm not trying to impress nobody. I
Right.
make music to impress me first and foremost, because I'm the biggest critic out of anyone's going to be, before anyone hears my music.
I could
I
tell.
done killed myself, brought myself back to life about 80 times before you heard crazy. You know
Right.
what I'm trying to say?
Right. Right. I
So people
understand.
just need to focus is really what the problem is. And it's hard to do that in this society right now.
Yeah, with so much going on and everybody's concerned with everybody else's business. I understand that as a collective, we have to have mutual concerns and focuses,
Absolutely.
but can those can overwhelm, our instant needs, not the wants, but the needs. Like you said, I'm retired. I'm financially good, but those that are worried about, like you said, paying rent day to day, buying groceries with, the crazy price hikes.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
you know, it's a good thing, like, the last couple of years, the last 24 months, the unemployment rate here in America has been down, which is a blessing. Everybody can find 2 or 3 jobs, even if it's McDonald's, you know, um, which by itself in most places won't provide a living wage, but it will keep the lights on. It can pay some rent and a couple of cases of ramen noodles a week. You know what I mean? And then, but when you're focused, when you're distracted, I should say,
Yeah.
by the messiness, like, rest in peace, Big Juke, you know, they're worried about whether, that's,
Mhm.
you know, who the heck could think of that God he would sacrifice his big brother, as penance for Dolph? Who would even think that? But that's out there. It was out there
Well,
within 10 minutes while brother was still laying in the parking lot.
That's
I'm
that's
like,
the that's the misinformation and the information at the same time. Is you're getting information, but it might not be the right information.
yeah. And then they
And
take off.
I'm sorry, and people tend to gravitate towards the messy information.
Roger that. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Hmm. I look at them like, you know what? You can get all the 5-star reviews you want on Google, but let somebody give you a 1-star review. It takes another 5 to wipe that one out in
Yep.
the algorithm, right?
Yep. Yep.
So imagine that's going on from a million different directions every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to focus. And then I'm 60. I just see us in a age of babies raising babies. And so soft skills, critical thinking skills, those things haven't been passed down like we used to get them from our elders, you know. And everything is okay, everything's groovy. Well, it's not groovy because we're
Mm-hmm.
killing ourselves,
Yep.
and that's crazy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Sad.
And so what I'm loving about is that you're exploring kind of almost of the research project. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? The inner workings of the mind. And the mind mapping that's going on for us through the entertainment industry, through social media, and then, the political landscape. And everybody's saying, oh, this didn't happen for me. That for well, do you have a job? Did you have a job when that other guy was there? You know what I mean? Whatever, whatever. So how do you teach through your music?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you said Time Traveler is a like a journal of where I was at on this day or this time and what I was feeling and how I was uh processing and perceiving what was going on. I'm crazy has gems, teaching gems,
Right.
not the ones that make you aware, like, whoa, I wasn't paying attention to that. They
Mm-hmm.
are sliding that in, and I am falling, I'm jumping down that rabbit hole. Throughout Time Traveler, and I don't want you to give away too much. I want everybody to go get it when it drops. Crazy is out now, everybody, on all platforms. And it's Vic Shadez, Shadez. It's called Crazy. It's out on now. Is one of these your imprint? It's on Get It AVM.
Yeah, that's the label. So my company, I have four partners. It's me and three other guys. We've been together for over 20 years,
Mhm.
and we do everything. We do mixing, mastering, production, video, you name it.
Okay.
That's what we do. Yeah.
So which one of you is the psychiatrist? Because if you taking this walk, taking this walk through the human psyche, brother, that maze is wild.
Well, my I would say the main artist out of this particular group is me and another guy named Solution.
Okay.
And you could just hear by the name Solution, it
Right.
tells you something.
Mm-hmm.
So we've since we were kids, we've always been into just understanding, trying to understand what's going on around us. And I would say after my early teen years, um, whatever I was doing at that time, I would speak about.
Mm-hmm.
As I gotten a little older and gotten a little wiser as the years gone by, I started to understand that maybe I need to speak about things that can last longer.
Mm-hmm.
So me talking about being on the block and me talking about, doing things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, how long is that going to last, right? Like how long are people going to listen to that?
Mm-hmm.
You go back to my old music and it's like, all right, I don't want to listen to this. I mean, the beat's dope, but what is he talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's important that, I would talk about the things that needed to be talked about, in my opinion, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Solution and I, we just, and even So Sick and Many Minds, that's the entire group. We always sit down and have deep conversations. We're all adults, we're all older, and we've we've been in this music thing for a while and have experienced many things, ups and downs in this industry.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that regardless of what a label or an A&R or whoever says that I should be saying, we know that we will feel a lot more comfortable doing it the way that we want to do it. And that's really the key for us. So as far as us, someone being a psychiatrist or whatever, we're kind of all psychiatrists to each other. We keep each other afloat, but
Right.
we're all like-minded, but we all have different strengths, and that's what allows us to do what we do.
I think it's a beautiful thing when a group of men come together, share thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
and can lean on each other for
Yeah,
understanding,
absolutely.
support when maybe we have the imposter syndrome, which we could fall victim to easily in this rapidly changing environment.
Yep.
Am I really, this here
Mm-hmm.
or,
Yeah.
you know, and how do you protect yourself as an individual besides being in the group with people who you share your thoughts with when you're alone with your thoughts and they're trying to just drag you all and make you touch everything in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you maintain, how do you rein yourself in?
Mm. I'm not sure how to answer that, but I will say this. I will say my creativity is what keeps me together. So
Okay.
if I don't allow my, what was it, idle hands? What was it?
I don't, yeah, idle hands are the devil's
The
workshop.
devil's,
I don't
there you
mind.
go.
Y'all.
Something along those
Yeah.
lines, but you know what I'm trying to say. That's a fact for me. Like for me, like pressure is important. Like I work better under pressure sometimes, most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And um I don't allow myself to just sit around and do nothing. I mean, I have moments where I need to turn off, just sit on my behind and watch a
Mm-hmm.
TV show or something with my wife or hang out, play with my kids and bug out with them. But mostly I don't allow myself to go too deep. It
Mm-hmm.
happens. I mean, we all can't control it, right? It's almost
Right, right,
impossible.
right.
But the key is to try to, you got to jump out of it. You got to be like, what is it that I love? Let me focus on that right now. That's why, like I was saying with the crazy thing, what do I love to do? What do I love? Let me focus on that. So even just me in my downtime when I'm just chilling with my lady and we're just watching like a series on Netflix or something like that. get something from it.
Right.
You know, like, oh, all right, I didn't even think about that. That's pretty cool. I'll incorporate that into my music, or I'll incorporate that into a visual or something that help me, help my music or my art form
Mm.
for that matter. But we all get into that moment where we're down in the bottom of that barrel and we got to crawl our way out. And the way that I crawl my way out is I get busy,
Mm. Okay.
because if I'm not busy, then that means I'm thinking too much.
Yeah, that could be a problem. That could be a
Yeah.
problem. I would like to know what has been in the busy mind of a creative for you specifically. What has been like your wildest song spark? Something that just like maybe somebody said something slick or it was funny. You like, that's a, and you just started working it out right there on the spot. Is there a funny moment, something that just set you off?
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about bass before,
Okay.
and while I was working on this particular project on Time Traveler, Sosik, which is one of my partners, he's a producer, and he was playing some beats for me. And he's like, he's going through them. I'm a very picky guy. I gotta literally hit me from the
Mm-hmm.
first couple seconds that I listen to it. So I'm listening to beats, and all of a sudden he puts this beat on, and I was like, the beat is dope. I love it,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it needs a bass line. Like the bass line ain't there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we hopped on the thing. I threw a quick bass line on it, and I was like, all right, sounds good. And we were just over there, and it just the bass line is real tricky. It just comes out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it sounded like, old dude in Mississippi on stage,
Mm-hmm.
cigarette in his mouth, and
Ooh,
just getting ready to play this little bass line. And so we were in there joking around how we would do the video, like, oh, just have to do whatever, because the bass line comes every now and then.
right.
I say every time he gets ready, he throws a cigarette in his mouth and he just jumps in the corner and does this thing. And we started laughing, but it 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 sparked that whole idea sparked another idea for me to create the song. And I was
Mm-hmm.
able, from that moment, just thinking about the dude on stage with the bass and the cigarette in his mouth, it gave me that spark to be like, all right, let's do this song. And I was able to record it right then and there.
That's fly. That's
Yeah.
fly. I have watched creatives. I've been in the studio. I started out a long time ago. Was it like doing national street team stuff, right? And I've sat there and watched some amazingly talented people at a domino game, which I was winning, fellas, by the way. Somebody said something slick. They left me at the domino table
uh,
to go into the booth. Oh, bruh. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, is this
yeah.
really happening in front of me? And this is like, I'm not thinking, yeah, I got a cell phone. I'm not thinking record,
Right.
document this creation moment, because I
Right.
don't make music. And it started here in the magic that came out on the record, months later. I was
Mhm.
like, I remember that point where it
Yep.
kicked off. You know what I mean?
And
And
you probably sparked it.
well, I was talking trash
Yeah, that's probably what
because they've
sparked
been whooping my behind all
it.
day at the domino table, bruh. And
Yeah.
make me want to put my pistol on the table, like, oh, y'all gonna let me win.
Hmm.
I
Let me
was
get my
looking,
money back.
and I was, when we were in the studio, we couldn't really gamble.
Uh-huh.
We wasn't gambling, y'all. uh, anyway, yeah, I was talking slick, and then one of the artists, uh, Rapid Forte, actually. So I'm sitting with Rapid Forte, Deadeye, the producer, and
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Womack. We're playing dominoes. They tear me
Be
a
woman.
new one, brother. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. I love Womack, man.
He's cool. He's cool. And that old dude with the cigarette in the corner, that's bruh, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
mean, and he never came to the studio relaxed. He was always, he had his fedora on, he had the jacket on. He was that
Hmm.
Delta blues dude,
Yeah,
what I mean? That presentation that we see like on Crossroads and all that stuff, right? But
exactly.
so I just watched him. I said something, Fote said, "Oh, da 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 da," in his little, you know, you know how you do. Right?
Hmm.
And then Deadeye said, "Oh, bruh," and he starts banging on it. I was like, "Oh my god!" So I'm
Yeah.
always interested in like the amazing. This is the only time I've ever watched a song come to life, right? Ever in my entire life. So I always just want to know for people who have done it for years and decades, what was their favorite. Speaking of favorite, Do you have a favorite moment that you can recall, that something that just makes you smile every time when you think about a song or a situation that you were able to pull together, you and your crew, and make something that was like a really strong message that impacted with someone, and you got the feedback? Somebody said, yo, you met me where I'm at.
Hmm. As far as a favorite moment, I mean, the way you explained it, maybe not in particularly, that way,
Okay.
but um, I would say whenever I think back and it makes me feel good, I would say I had got a message on Instagram one day, and it was from some lady from the Bronx, and she was like, "Hey, click this link. Kid Capri is playing your song, and he's talking about you." I was like, "What?"
Whoa.
I was like, "All right." So I click on it, and it was live. And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "This joint is fire. It's Vic Shades." And I'm just like, "All right, that's it. I made it." Right? Because
Whoa.
that's the brain. That's the way my brain was working at the time.
Right, right.
And I was like, I was like, first and foremost, how, right? How did he get the song? And right. And how, like bugging out, And after that, I grew a little relationship with him.
Mhm,
And he's played a lot of my music,
mhm.
and he's reached out to me for music.
Okay.
I've never even met him in person.
Wow.
He just like, hey, randomly, hey, Shade, send me that. I'm like, all right. I sent it to him. He'll play it on his radio show. He'll he'll shout it out. And I'm just like, well, take it. But for me, that's major because I grew up with Kid Capri. Kid Capri was the biggest DJ in the world at one point.
No doubt.
Def Comedy Jam,
Yeah.
like major, And to
Yeah.
me, whenever I think about that, it definitely puts a smile on my face. And then my brain smiles too.
Yeah. That iconic the Kid
What?
Capri.
Bro,
Bruh.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was, and his progeny aren't bad. Vina Love, his daughter, is
Yeah,
amazing as well. Uh,
absolutely.
she's so that cosign, right? Man, do you know what that would have, man, please. Come on,
Hmm.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm like, yo, that was so crazy.
Chills. That
Yeah,
would
I got
be
chills.
chills. You know
My
what I mean?
family was here. My sister's like, yo, Kid Capri, blah, blah, blah. Like my sister was bugging. Like a bunch of people hit me up. And
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know how it happened, but I'm glad it happened.
Hey, you know what? I heard who was it? A hitmaker said to me once, he says, good music will market itself.
Yeah.
It will bubble to the top and it will find its way, and Capri is not playing no nonsense.
No.
I've never heard him play any nonsense, not even to please, a crowd that was paying him. You know what I mean? Uh, so to me, from the outside looking in, I'm looking at you like, whoa, a whole nother level right here.
Yeah.
I know what I liked about the music that I heard.
Mhm.
I'm a
Right.
dark kind of dude, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, on my deployments, I preferred uh metal.
Okay.
Uh
What
I
bands in
would,
particular?
well, I was in a turret. I would listen to Non-Point.
Okay.
I would listen to White Zombie,
Okay.
you know, um, Little White Fence from time to
Hmm.
time, Black
Okay.
Sabbath. On certain days, if I knew I was gonna get into something real sticky,
Hmm.
it would be Sabbath. You know what I
Want to
mean?
get your mind right.
Yeah, I needed to be as dangerous to the other guy as I could be. And
Understood.
that would set me off. You feel me? I'd be
Right.
pissed off, Jack. I'd be like, let's go get it. Right. So
Yep.
that was me. But when I get back to the hooch, I really enjoy the darker, lo-fi kind of
Okay.
like,
Vibe.
yeah, let me get
Yeah.
into it because I need to not think about that. I need to
Right.
not see those faces. I need to see the future.
Hmm.
So that for me was what really touched me about Crazy was I'm like the track. I'm a track dude first. I'm not listening to nothing.
Yeah.
If the track 25
Don't sound
seconds,
right.
yeah, 25 seconds, 30 seconds. If I
Hmm.
no, but drew me in, made me lean forward immediately. I'm like, okay, all right,
Dope.
let's see. Is he gonna? Okay, he banged that.
Hmm.
He banged that. That I can listen to that instrumental
Yeah.
on repeat and work throughout the whole day. That would, yeah, that would help me, along with medication.
I hope it puts you in a good mind state.
It gives me, because you played with, see, here's what I got.
Okay.
You played with sounds. It seems to me like you move some sounds to create a greater impact and to elevate and to like create this stair step. And then it just kind of was a journey
Mhm.
and an adventure.
Yes.
You deposited safely at the end, but
Hmm.
I went through this full range of uh, and then
Hmm.
you add some medication
Hmm.
and it takes you, high thoughts. It
Yeah.
helped me with my high thoughts.
Right.
And
As it should. That's the key. That's what I wanted to do.
and that's what it did. Like I'm sitting
Oh.
there, I wrote a couple of things about global communication and colloquialisms and things like that from
Right.
Crazy.
Oh, I'm glad I was able to inspire that.
Bro.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. I
Yeah. And
appreciate that.
I'm like, wow. Uh, because it is a lot going on.
Yeah.
There people aren't focusing on reality. They're taking refuge in the fantasy and forgetting you still have to come down off of that.
That's right.
It's still gonna smack you in the face
Yep.
when you step out the door. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or maybe just looking in the mirror, you be like, yeah. In reflection, I did go a little crazy on that. I did step off the path. I allowed myself to be drugged away from my purpose. Let me pull myself back in.
See, now the music is doing what it's supposed to do.
Right,
It's art.
right.
If you stand in, if you're at an art museum and you're standing there looking at a painting and it doesn't look like anything in particular, you stare at it.
Mm,
When you stare at it, you see things.
mm,
Now you get something from it, right?
mm,
That's the key, and that's why I feel like music is art.
I
If
agree.
you're just making random, taking Molly and I'm smacking bitches' asses and all this, it's like, all right, but where's the art in it though? Where's the thinking part?
Yeah.
Where's the reflection? Where's the sit back and stare and think like, all right, now what does this say to me?
Mm,
And I think that's the thing that's missing in mainstream music. I'm the underground and all the independent dudes. There's a bunch of people doing amazing things as well,
yeah.
but that's what I'm trying not to do. I'm not trying to be like everyone else. I'm trying to be like me.
Now you got a little Basquiat
Hmm.
in there
Yeah.
artistically, as I see it. Like I said, I'm old, and some of the things that he did on.
Ain't old, bro.
I'm
Don't
60,
call
bro.
yourself
I'm
that.
60.
60 is young, man.
Bro, I got 6 kids, 15 grandbabies. I feel old from time to
No,
time.
they,
You
they
feel,
they'll make you feel that way. Yeah.
bro, like run into the ground. Uh, but yeah, I was like, some of the stuff that he did on the napkins and postcards were some of his more impactful pieces.
Right.
So I was like, okay, Basquiat, and then a little Matisse in there. Because Matisse was
Not familiar.
Matisse is one of the most deep visual artists.
Right.
So Renoir is like that highfalutin, governor's ball kind of stuff, right? Matisse was that dude that was in the gutter and came up as like a fisherman or whatever. He had a hard life, as shared, and he was able to translate that into paint strokes. And he wasn't appreciated until much later, long after he died. You know what I mean?
Usually the case.
Um, but for me, crazy was Basquiat and Matisse at the same time.
Okay.
Matisse, the classical, and then with Basquiat being the Renaissance. It's a
I see.
re-emergence
Mhm.
of a thought, of a movement.
Yeah.
And so it really created a movement. I felt it physically, but
Yeah.
also mentally. And like I said, I was on some high thoughts, and
Hmm.
I was like, I wrote two feature stories just on communication based on crazy. I
Wow,
haven't
man.
published them yet, but uh when I finished the polish, because I'm like, I like I said, I know you move them sounds around, you're like, that punch don't hit just right at the
Hmm.
right moment. So
Right.
I watched, and it's crazy to talk about music in the sense of timbre, intonation, and timing.
Yeah.
The timing and spacing, yes, but timbre being, the change in the,
Hmm.
yeah, that part. You
Yep.
know what I mean? It's
I
like,
know. I
okay.
already know.
So I was like, wow, it gave me a lot. So
Mhm.
salute to you
Thank you.
for the
Salute.
creativity. Salute
Salute
to
to
you.
you for digging it, man. I'm glad you felt it.
Oh, that was powerful. That the track is powerful. Then, you come back and you start to listen to the lyrics. And I'm like, it's just truth telling, which is, what the culture was based on.
Speak your mind, man. Like you ain't got to be like this dude. Just do what you feel like is right.
Right. There it is
Yeah.
there. There it is there. I like that call of the call to action
Yeah.
is be yourself.
Hmm.
You don't have to wear somebody else's uniform.
Exactly. And sometimes you think you want to be in that uniform until you actually get in it. And then
Bruh.
you're like, oh, I don't need to be in this uniform.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
a witness. Mm.
Yeah, man. It'd be like that sometimes. I be running to these young kids and they be acting and talking crazy. And I'm like, are you really about that? Because you run into the right person, they
Mm.
gonna make sure that you like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, because there are those people that will stand in the middle of the street and say, I don't give a and they will
Yep.
prove it.
Yeah, they are. There's people that live on this earth to prove that they don't play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I laugh and joke, but I ain't playing.
Yeah,
So
exactly. I ain't
yeah,
playing.
yeah. So and I like the fact that it's a call to action, like, hey, reel yourself in.
Yeah.
Let's really step back and take a look at our realities, our individual realities,
Yeah.
contrast that with what we're seeing and what those people who are too hard for themselves are saying, but not really living. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
man.
talk about the snitch stories. I'm not even going to talk about the street stories. None of that.
Uh, this ain't even about
It
the
ain't
street,
about
really.
the streets. It's
It's just about
really
what's up
about
here.
your mental
Yep.
and the journey that you're going with yourself. Man, I could probably talk to you like 6 or 7 hours, bro. I absolutely am digging it. I can't wait for time travel, bro. That is a journey I want to dab all the way through.
It's definitely a journey.
Yeah.
It's
So,
one of those like whenever I put a project together, a solo project. Whenever I put a
mm,
solo project together, I make it to where it's really just one long track.
okay.
So if you start from the beginning, you should, with no problem, be able to make it to the end without ever skipping anything. I mean, that's the preference. I would prefer it that way.
Yeah.
But you can do whatever you want, right? I tell people, it's yours at this point, and you can ingest it the way you feel is the best way to ingest it. But when I created it for you to listen to it all in one shot. So like even when you listen to Crazy, if you notice at the end of Crazy, if you remember the video well enough, at the end it talks about how scientists uh, prove the way that you can hack out of your own reality. But that is really leading into the next song. So that's
Mm,
all on the album. Like what you hear, everything you're hearing on that song is on the album. And
yeah.
everything leads into the next thing, into the next thing, into the next thing. So it's crazy.
I did pick that up. I'm like, he's talking about changing the way your mental synapses fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like
Yeah.
people don't understand
No.
muscle memory, the nerves, the synapses. You repeat something over and over, it becomes something that you're not thinking about. It's just happens, right? And
Exactly.
then we fall into that trap with the new age way of not thinking. I don't want to say it thinking, and it's no understanding,
Right.
definitely no overstanding. Um,
Mhm.
bro, yeah, I'm excited for time travel, bro. What is the most satisfying part for you
Yeah.
about this project? Do you
Mhm.
feel like you really got that off your chest? You really were able to put a solid Obama message together. Not I'm just saying because I love the way he speaks.
Oh, amazing, amazing
Uh,
speaker.
yeah. Do you feel like you were able to get that off?
I don't think I ever feel that's the problem. Like my team is always around me, like it's perfect, and I'm like, it's not. I'm like, I, I'm like, I don't like the way I said this here. Maybe I should change this. And they're like, nah, man, just leave it. Stop. It's fine. It's perfect. But the real answer is yes, I never 100% feel like I did exactly what I fully intended to do. But um, whatever I did do, I did get a point across,
Mhm.
and I did get the concept that I wanted. I got it out. Now the question is, did I get it out the way I really wanted it to be out?
Mm,
Maybe not for me,
mm.
but again, you never know when it's done. Like, you can just keep adding stroke. I can keep adding strokes to it forever. So
And
that's
ruin a
really the problem.
masterpiece. Yeah.
Right. And then ruin it. And trust me, I got people in my ear consistently going, stop. He's fine. Go on to the next thing. And which I am. I stopped it. I was like, all right, I'm done. Right now, I'm just working on all visuals right now. So I'm working on creating all the videos for all the songs and my goal is for all the videos
Mm,
to be one piece. I
okay.
mean, that's the best way I could describe it. Every song's going to have a video and it'll be one cohesive thing when it's all done. That's the best way I could describe it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. I got it. I got
Yeah. So you'll be able to watch it and enjoy. I don't know if you're into Pink Floyd at all.
Oh yeah.
All right. So The Wall. So just
Yeah,
think of
the
The
wall.
Wall,
Yeah,
think of
yeah.
The Wall, and then think of Time Traveler. So that's something that I feel like is missing in music in general. People have done it. It's been done multiple times, but I feel like we live in a different age, and you do kind of have to. You got you got to make it happen for everyone, and it's for me too. Like I would love to just watch an album, and that's what I'm trying to do for the Time Traveler. I'm trying to make sure that people can watch it as well as listen to it, even
That's
though they can
fly.
watch it when they listen to
That is
it.
that is fly.
Yeah,
I never heard anybody say I want to do a series of um I don't remember what visual artists call it when they do sections of
anthology,
I'm sorry.
an anthology.
Okay, an anthology. Yeah, when visual artists do that and they have all the and I when I go to a museum,
Mhm.
when I see those kind of exhibits,
Oh, okay,
that's where I spend a lot of my time is
right.
watching the story, unfold,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then I go back and watch it again. You know what I mean? Just one piece at a
Yeah,
time, but
yeah,
through the collection. Wow,
yeah.
you know. Obviously, I'm when it panels. That's what they are. They're called panels.
Panels.
Right, right. But it's anthology in panels. Right.
Right.
So, like the Japanese scenes and the war scenes and battles and
Yep.
imperial stories, the imperial court story. I like those. So shoji
Yeah.
screens and all that. I'm into that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
That's dope.
yeah, so it's fun. What is the most fun for you as a creative? Is it the creation?
Mm.
Or is it the finished product and watching the perception?
A little of both. I probably would say the creation part is the most fun
Mm,
because I'm creating it. It's like I'm there and I'm listening. No one knows this exists, right? Except for me. So I'm just sitting here like, wait till they hear this, right? You know what I'm saying? Like my whole brain is like, I'm about to give someone something that they have no idea what this is. Like they don't even know it exists yet. And as I'm creating it, I'm listening to it. And like I said, I kill myself and bring myself back to life multiple times during this process. But I'm listening to it. And like, for example, like when I make a song for me, like
Mhm.
by myself. So if I'm producing it, which most of myself stuff is self-produced, I'll make the beat. And, sometimes I'll be in the studio, I'll make 5, 6 beats before I'm like, oh, all right, this is the one I'm gonna rap to. And then most of the time I make a loop.
Okay.
If that loop catches me and I want to rap to that loop, then I know I got something. So I'll take that loop, I'll put my microphone in front of me and I'll record something. And usually what comes out is what comes out.
Mm.
I just let it be that way. It comes out, I'm speaking my mind, hook. Sometimes the hook comes first, sometimes the hook comes later, depending on what it is. And then I go back into it and I'll start molding it. So now I'm like, all right, this loop's gonna have this part here now. I'm gonna change this. I'm gonna put this over here and I'm gonna add this little thing. I'm gonna hop on my drums, I'm gonna add crashes and toms and to highlight certain things that I say in the song. Because the thing is what most people don't realize is that music is what's it's crescendo. So you if I dynamics, that's the best way to describe it. So music is dynamics. The dynamics is what makes you feel things. So if I'm saying something that's important, I want to highlight that. I want to put a period or exclamation point on it. So maybe I'll put a crash there, or I'll put like a roll to lead you to it so that you feel it coming, not only just hear it coming and understand what it is, but now you know it's important because something happened in order for you to notice it. That's the part I love. And I think that's the fun part for me.
You just sparked
No, I
something
over
in me.
explained the hell out of
No, hell no, you didn't. That was dope.
that.
That was fire. You know, I was writing. I wasn't looking away from the camera for no reason because crazy is going to be. I've already written the technical communications things, but you sparked a series. I'm going to do a series of joints,
Okay.
of original feature stories. And
Wow.
I'm going to do it starting with crazy
Ooh, dope.
with credit, story inspiration credit.
Okay.
This story was inspired by Crazy by Vic Shadez. Blah, 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 blah.
Wow. Thank you.
And I'm going to send it to you. So you could get an idea of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Once I get the other two were, you know, I teach communications. I'm a professor. I teach communications, but to write something for me, because I'm just listening to him like, I don't write for me as a editor for a publication. I write for the audience, but I'm going to write for me. At 60,
Yeah.
I can do that. I earned that, right?
Yeah. You
And
definitely
I
earned it.
and then to tie that in with music from the culture, it will always be from the culture uh, that inspired me to create an internal dialogue that I put on paper.
Right. Nah, that's
Thank
dope,
you.
man. That's art. That's art, brother. That's art.
That's I haven't smiled like this in a minute, like for the story creation. I'm like,
That's dope.
this is fire. I've just been doing it so long and bored. So I always get bored. I've been writing for a long time, but do you ever get? You've already told me that it's like air for you. So, making music is just like breathing. You have to have it. You know what I
Yep.
mean? To stay alive. This is your lifeline.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Outside of your
Definitely.
wife and your family, and this is your personal keep it together. This is
Yeah.
my personal get this off my chest. This is my personal teaching line. This is how I do it. And yeah, you just sparked that in me. I'm like, I could do something different than
Yeah, man.
the standard journalist crap that's going on right now. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Um, I can't wait. So will you come back when Time Traveler drops?
Oh
And
yeah. As
let's
long as as long as you have me, I'm here.
oh bruh, you got the direct connection already. So yeah,
That's what's up.
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
I could see Time Traveler being that. When is it dropping? Hold up, dog.
All right. So I don't have a set date. It will be in April. I don't have the date yet. But in the meantime, I'm dropping 3 to 4 singles
Uh,
before the album drops. So every 5 weeks, I'll be dropping a single. So Crazy dropped last Friday. So 4 weeks from now, there'll be another single from the album with a video, everything ready to go.
yeah, yeah, bruh. This turned into a conversation, which I love. I hate interviews. Um,
Yeah.
and it turned, thank you for the opportunity to have a conversation.
Thank you for
Is there anything that you wanted to cover that I may have neglected?
no, definitely not. No, definitely not. How'd you feel about the video, man?
I watched it on my phone
Okay.
in my garage about 2:30 in the morning with a big mug of coffee.
2:30 in the morning drinking coffee?
Well, I have students. Yeah. So I'm up. I have students in the UK and India. And so 2:30 is my time. So
I
yeah,
see. I
I'm up
see.
and I gotta get it going, you
Yeah.
know. So between my it's my wake and bake time
Hmm.
and my coffee. So I'm really getting a speedball kind of thing going on. So I can
Right.
and
Yeah.
get it. So um I like the darkness. I like similar to your virtual background, the colorization, that palette hit me and brought me in. I'm like, okay, very,
Right.
very creative.
Yep.
You know, it wasn't wild. It wasn't wild. It was pretty straightforward. And
Mhm.
I enjoyed that part. I'm a straightforward dude. I like linear as opposed to the ambiguous, you know, and it's like I thought you got to the point. And I thought that the visuals tied well. You know,
You got it.
I don't have a specific moment. The color
Right.
palette did it for me.
I wanted to make it feel like you were in my mind.
Yeah, that was different. That's all I can say. I was like, you know, you could I could see the synopsis firing, you know, on the thought process. I could see the mind mapping being explained. Does that make sense for you?
It does.
Okay.
Yep.
I think about things a little differently. Like, do I like the visual? And what is it saying to me, and how is it playing with the words? The creativity was on point for me. I think the visual messaging met the sonics.
Yeah. That's right. That's the main key for me. I just want to make sure that the video looks like the song sounds.
You know what? That's the way to describe it. It looked
Yeah.
the way the song sounds. Have you
Hmm.
ever tasted something that smelled? You feel me? This
I do.
tastes like that smells.
Hmm.
Okay, there you go. Got it. There you go. We got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
We dialed it in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Every 5 weeks, look, Vic Shades is the name. He's out of
Yeah.
Jersey. Jersey's got this huge musical history. Of course,
Yep.
kicked off the commercial release of rap music on
Yep.
radio, you
Rapid
know,
delight.
and you are holding that mantle, that responsibility.
Ryan.
Uh, you're here talking to me, bro. You're doing trying. I have an audience of 20 million people. You're doing more than trying. Yeah. I'm not the fancy guy. I'm not the Elliot Wilson, and I'm not out there like that. I just write what I feel and I cover what I feel. And people seem to enjoy that. And it's a holiday. You know, we had an original and I apologize. for missing you on that original day. And thank you that you stayed in the room for 45 minutes waiting on my
Side.
to show up. No, um, but the timing was perfect. Here we are. It's Martin Luther King
Yep.
birthday, messaging, the commercialized, oversaturated messaging of Dr. King
Yep.
irritates me to no end.
Yep. It happens with a lot of our people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So to be able to have this conversation with an astute mind, someone who's aware not only of the world but of themselves, and we having a conversation rather than an interview, that's valuable to me, and I appreciate that.
I
So
appreciate you, man. It's a great, well, this is a great conversation.
thank you
Let's
so
say
much.
that. I
I'm
was gonna say
honored.
interview, but it's not an interview. It's a conversation.
I'm honored. I'm honored that you. Thank you. Um, I'm looking forward to you coming back. We're gonna have a blast. Y'all don't know.
Oh man, wait
He
till you
done,
hear all the other stuff.
he done set me off though. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
So uh tell them where we can find you and where they can find the music,
absolutely.
and talk
Mhm.
to them about the imprint.
You can find Vic Shades on everything. I made sure my name matches everything on my social media, so it's VicShadez on everything. So you type that in. If even if you Google it, everything's gonna pop up. Um, Me, I'm just a man that loves music, and I love art, and I'm an artist, and this is how I give you my art. I make the beats, I spit on them, I give you a message, and I give you a dope visual. And that's what you can always expect from me. Oh, my live performance is crazy. You gotta come see me live.
Oh, I'll fly in for that.
Yeah. I'm opening up for Lloyd Banks on the 28th of this month, like another week or so.
Oh, that's inconvenient, but I'll be in
Sorry.
New York on the 3rd for an
Man,
event.
if you out here, come visit. Just come chill, come hang out, talk. Come to my studio.
I'll come across the bridge, no problem.
My studio's literally 5 minutes from the Lincoln Tunnel on the
Is
Jersey
that where we
side.
cross from Jersey into Manhattan?
Yeah, so there's two ways. So you can go,
Okay.
you can take the Lincoln or the Holland. I'm by the Lincoln Tunnel. So if you came through the Lincoln Tunnel, literally a 5 minute drive, you'll be right at my studio.
Okay. So where do I usually stay? I stay at the Jersey Hilton, the Hilton, the International Airport. It's
Okay.
outside
Oh,
of
so you're in Newark.
I'll be in Newark.
Oh,
That's where I pop in.
I'm a 10 minute ride from Newark, brother. 15 minutes.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
to be fair.
I learned not to drive out there. I learned not to drive. So I'm gonna get a car service. I
I hear you.
I'll try to go see, what was I trying to go see? The Statue of Liberty. As I'm
Oof.
coming across that bridge, I see it. I'm like, and I missed the turnoff. There's only one turnoff to get off the bridge to go to.
Yep.
And I got stuck for 2 hours coming into Manhattan. I'm like, oh, dog, are you like at a red light? Had to go to the bathroom, couldn't get off the bridge. I'm like, oh, I'm
That
stuck.
sucks.
I was
Yep.
stuck.
I
Yeah,
literally live about 10 blocks away
the
from the
statue.
Statue of Liberty. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Well, look, full circle. I love the music.
Thank you.
I'm a fan. I'm going to dig deeper into some of your older stuff so I
Please.
can understand the full journey.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, until next time, brother. I really look forward to the next time. All right, everybody.
Same.
The Hype Magazine live sessions. Hype first, right here. Vic Shades. The new joint that's out right now is crazy. It's available on all platforms. Yo, if you're into the noir side of the culture, this is for you. If you're bubbly, leave us alone. Okay? Leave us alone. If you're a contemplative type of person, if you are self-aware, and you understand that, you know, everything is not always bright and light, and that you need to explore the darker side to understand how to appreciate the light and maximize on it, Crazy is a good starting point for you. If you're just coming in to experience with Vic Shadez, this is a great introduction to what he's doing and the way he's thinking. This is, I feel, it's a good introduction, perhaps, to the mind of the man behind the music. And then Time Traveler, we're going to get a whole journey to enjoy. And I'm looking forward to that. That's coming up in April. Crazy's out now. The label is Get It, GIDDT AVM. And yeah, you should go get that. Holla at your boy the next time you drop something. Every single, I want it. I need that.
I got you, brother.
I need that.
I got you.
All right,
got
brother.
you in a couple weeks.
Peace. All right. Until next time, Vic Shadez.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Cause I'm black.
It's really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out the Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.